Yeah, okay. It looks like, I love this hat, everyone, but it's just a little off center. It's weird, but uh hi everyone. Hi guys and gals. Shane, Director of Museum Collections and Curator here at the Buffalo Naval Park, and I'm sitting in our what we call our Tactical Operations Center. This is where we do the museum ship mafia from. But we're just at a different angle today. We are uh, out facing, obviously, as you can see, the weather behind us. This will kind of give you some things as we are live. This was kind of an impromptu thing. There was just a few of us coming into work today, and I said, "Oh, why don't I make this like a live session? It would be cool to do it like a election desk or whatever, but I don't think we're going to have the up to date, up to minute by minute information. But thank you all for checking this out. Well, what happens in live? Your phone rings. I don't know. Don't know who that is. So, hi everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. We have about 13 people live right now. I can't guarantee that this will continue, just because we might lose power or something. So I do have the stats, all right, which is really interesting. So I'm going to review some of the things that we did prior to the storm. Well, you can see it out there a little bit. So this came in really quickly. All right, we were talking, and obviously, if you've been watching the national news, they've been talking about the storm and stuff. So at least for the Buffalo area, they've been saying it was going to be rainy and about 40 degrees from about 7 to about noon or 1 p.m. today, Friday, December 23rd. So that's how it was when I woke up. I got in the shower. I'm there, doing shower stuff. 10 minutes, come out. It then looks like this. So it came in a little bit quicker than was expected, at least from what people were saying. And that obviously has adjusted who can come in today, things like that. Because I think there's going to be a few of us coming in this morning, but it just slammed pretty quickly. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like outside. All right, I know it's probably me moving and it changes the lighting and stuff like that, but it's a winter wonderland out there. So I have the NOAA tides and currents for the Buffalo area. There is a water station just at the end of the river where it meets Lake Erie. So that's, say 0.2 of a mile, 0.3 of a mile away from the Buffalo Naval Park. And what they're showing here, and I've got it, now these are again above sea level, all right? So Buffalo is, I don't know, 565 feet above sea level. So what they do is they measure the water from the sea level. So it's pretty steady. This goes from yesterday. All right, I know you might not be able to see that. You can't see this graph, but it's about 571 feet, pretty stable. Then at 6:48 this morning, it starts to inch up to 572 feet. So it raises about a half a foot by 6:30 to 6:42. And then as we go through, now at 8:45 this morning, it's at 578, which means that the water level had raised 7 feet in those 2 hours from 6:42 to 8:42 this morning. It seems, and we just kind of talked about this briefly, Paul, the president and CEO, is here. And he's writing it out as well. So he was mentioning that it looked like the water levels had gone down. And so I went to the NOAA tides and currents site. And oddly enough, it seemed as though now the water level is going down a little bit. So it had crested at about 9:12 this morning. at 578.87 feet, so almost 579. So that was about 8 feet above where it was this morning at 6:42. And now it seems to have come down just ever so slightly, about a half a foot since the peak at about 9:10, 9:20 today. I also have the National Weather Service. They seem as though we're in the moderate range for the National Weather Service now. The flood stage is at 8 feet here for Buffalo and the river and the seawalls and canal side. Yeah, it's about 8 feet. We've crossed that threshold and we're in the moderate stage. And actually, we're getting whitecaps in the Buffalo River, which is pretty rare. So if anyone wants to bring their surfboard down, please feel free. We've seen outside some storm chasers. Everyone's bundled up. There are some people walking around. Obviously, I can't bring a live session to you outside, so that's unfortunate. So that's the update as of right now, but hopefully we can continue to get updates. I'll keep checking those websites. I do have a list from what was done, so I'm going to review that a little bit. These are storm preparations and winterization projects. So we have talked about in the past the emergency flooding response agreement with Bidco Marine Company. So we have that. We certainly have done the bubblers. Some bubblers are up around specifically the Sullivans. We do have bubblers for the Croaker, which would be a first for me, I think, in my 4 or 5 years here. That I don't think we've put bubblers around the Croaker, but we are this year. We have 6. It just haven't gotten up yet. So for this storm specifically, what we do is we raise all the brows. Okay, if you've watched that Navy vessel versus high wind video from last year, you can see how high the brows are. We've done the same thing this year. The crew really buttoned up everything below the main deck on all 3 vessels. They've reviewed, which also means, unfortunately, because we had cableways, extension cords for the dehumidifiers and the heaters cutting through doors, we didn't want to seal them with those cables and wiring, so we actually unplugged everything just to get as tight of a seal as we could. We also did that with the deck hatches, and so everything, unfortunately, is unplugged. We also worried about, and unfortunately I don't know the conclusion of this, but we did try to talk to the city to have the power shut down totally. What some forecast and modeling had shown was that the pier wall where our sidewalk is, if you've watched our YouTubes, you see it. I'm walking along it a lot in all of our videos. Even the high winds, Navy vessel versus high winds from December of 21, as I'm walking along, you can see some of the water cresting over, especially by the Croaker. Well, they're expecting that area, at least modeling had shown that they're expecting that area to flood 2 to 4 feet, let's say, over the seawall. And so that would hit our shore power boxes. And so what we wanted to do was just have them shut down to protect them in case we had water coming that high, getting into the transformers, and then just blowing all the breakers and things. But unfortunately, I don't know what the conclusion to that was. Were we able to get the city to do that for us? Because they would have that ability to shut the power right down. And so therefore, then just disconnecting all the cables is, all the power would already be off anyway. But we wanted to have that watertight integrity as much as we can. We got the dog wrenches out, and the crew worked really hard Wednesday afternoon into yesterday, Thursday, to really make sure that the ships are as tight as they can be. Let me see if there's any updates on these the water levels. Okay, so for the National Weather Service, we're still in the moderate range. It doesn't seem as at 9. Now they're saying it's about 9 feet, 966, and that was at 9:30 today, or this morning, so about an hour ago. And it still shows us on the NOAA tides and currents graph that the water is coming down a little bit. Not by much. Maybe now it looks like it's come down by a foot. Maybe what I can do is hold the camera up too, so you can kind of peek outside a little bit. So, hey, everyone, we got about 30 people on. Great to see you all. Hey, Rob. Hey, long time. Hold on to your hat, brother. You got it. Walking around outside. It is an exhilarating thing. But, hey, Levi, hopefully the ships won't bash into each other and cause damage. Well, so what we also did, one of the things that we did was we relaxed the mooring lines a little bit, right? Which does sound counterintuitive, but we want the ships to have that slack. But based on the calculations, we do have a barge that's still from Bidco. We have a barge that's in between the Little Rock and the Sullivans. And so that probably will stay here the whole winter, just because they have a lot of products that are on the barge. And there was some discussion yesterday that the mooring lines would allow the Sullivans to maybe begin bumping against that, but checking today, there's still enough space and there's enough gap. A long time down in South Carolina, but no snow, still good. We know how you Southern drivers can be. I'm kidding. Hi, Tony. Hi, Kansas Caesar. Yeah, drove in the weather in this. So, Gowanda. Gowanda at Orchard Park. Well, be very careful, right? I would not recommend driving too far. Of course, now along the whole shoreline, from here to say Dunkirk, which is maybe about 50, 60 miles away, they've already begun evacuating people that have housing and houses along the lake shore. So yeah, I'm like, wow, we're really getting... there's some whitecaps. All right, so I'm going to try to grab the computer. Maybe you guys can see this. Hopefully, maybe you guys and gals can see this. But so again, the water is traveling up the Buffalo River. All right, it usually flows downstream this way. But of course, with the Seiche, all of it's getting pushed up. And if you can see that... Hey, we have someone out here too. Look at that. Taking photos. I know it's not the best. But you can see that it's pretty active. And again, with Seiches, not only is the water level rising, but you're getting those currents underneath. So you're getting the sloshing like a bathtub, and then you're getting that current rushing back after it hits the shoreline again. But then you're also on the top of that, having that water pushing again, so you're getting those cross currents underneath, which could really cause some problems. And I should move my finger. Sorry. As this video goes, you might be able to see the Little Rock move a little bit. It's the tide coming in. Yeah, John, it is. On the bottom, it's still flowing downriver. Thank you, Jason. That's exactly what I was mentioning. I wonder if I could hit off some of the maybe I might try to hit one of the lights off here. I don't know. Let's see how that works. Well, maybe that won't work. Shoot. Sorry, everybody. I might have to go back and turn them on. Maybe not. Oh, hey, Pat. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. It's blowing good in Tonawanda, Eric. Yeah, I bet you it is. You know what? I got to turn the lights back on. Sorry, everybody. Although you guys don't need to see my ugly mug, so it might be better in the dark, I guess. Hey, vegan, how are you? I'm sure your weather's great. We don't need to hear it. 80 and sunny or whatever. But Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thanks for watching the video with Joe. All right, this is good. I'll just try to keep my hands down. So that's kind of where we're at right now, guys. It's and this is just beginning. That's the thing. This is supposed to go through Sunday morning potentially. So if you've watched that Navy vessels versus high wind video again from last year, that was a 1 day storm, probably 5-6 hours. That Seiche was pretty large. That water came up about 7 feet again. But that was, 12 hours. Well, not 5 or 6, but 12 hours about. This is going to be potentially 48 hours. So we are already seeing that water level where it was in that video from last year at the beginning of this storm, and we can only assume it's only going to get worse as it goes through. So, any questions for us? 40 degrees and raining in Watertown. Thanks, John. That's what it was doing here this morning, and then I got in the shower, and when I got out, it was like this. Actually, it seems though a little of the snow has slowed down a little bit. But again, yeah, we're getting whitecaps in the Buffalo River, which is weird. Brian, people should always be concerned about my behavior. I like that. Appreciate that. So let's see what else. Okay, all unsecured objects topside on the ships were removed to the interior or secured with line. So anything that was loose on the main deck, say the main deck 01, 02, and certainly for then the Little Rock going up to the 03, 04, 05 levels, has been secured either by removing it off the main deck and bringing it inside into the interior of the ship, or tying it down with line right as it was. Yep, the brows have been raised. They mapped out the transverse bulkheads and secured dogging down all relevant hatches and watertight doors. All right, we did, and the mooring lines, we did have the Coast Guard here, so that was nice. So they kind of assisted, and Bidco, they kind of assisted with us loosening the mooring lines a little bit, just to give the ships a little flex. There is some concern about one of the lines on the Croaker breaking. So I guess that we'll see as we get through this weekend, if that actually occurs. But yeah, that might be it for now. I am going to be trying to talk to the kid, Tim, at the USS Kidd. I'm going to try to do another live session today with him, like we do our museum ship mafia shows, where it's side by side kind of thing. Because we want to talk about certainly our water levels here, but also the historic water levels of the Mississippi. I've mentioned that video before. We did do one last week, I think it was, or a week ago, and we're a bunch of old timers here, and the 80-minute, it was about an hour and 20 minutes long, and it didn't record. Or I thought it recorded, but it didn't. So we're going to do a second round. And I was hoping to do that this afternoon, and he's going to talk about the Mississippi River, the water levels being low there, and now how that is affecting the Kidd. Oh yeah, you're getting a nice shot now if I just stand still or sit still for a little bit. We are also, if you see right here, we are also recording this whole weekend with, I think, cameras at 3 different angles. So we'll parse through that video, and then we will also upload that to our YouTube channel. Still in the, hi Pat, we're still in the 50s in Connecticut, expecting 10 before windshield by tomorrow. Yes, that is true. We've gotten hit just, like other places got hit before us. Now it's here, and then welcome to Connecticut. Paul, our president and CEO, has heard from Megan, the executive director of Battleship Cove. She's already saying the dock there is awash and they can't get to work. Paul, do you want to join us for a minute, or is it a live session? We've got about 35 people live now. So you guys have seen this guy before. This is Paul, president and CEO of the Buffalo Naval Park here. Oh, matching hats, Paul.
How we doing?
So you spoke to Megan this morning?
We've been texting back and forth. So obviously Battleship Cove, which is more towards, I guess, the ocean front than we are. We're inland. But obviously they're being affected by the storm as much as we are. It's really early to tell how bad or when this storm will peak. But if, Shane, Bill Shepard, our director of operations, myself, we kind of set up a incident command post, much like we had when the Sullivans was in dire straits. So we're here to monitor. There's not much you can do. The storm is way beyond our control. We did everything we can in the last 2 days leading up to the storm to try and prepare. And now it's just a matter of documenting things so that once this storm resides and passes over, we can take a look and see what kind of damage there has been done. And hopefully it'll be minimal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the important thing, documenting it. And that would be in case there's any emergency disaster funding or something like that, and something major happens, we'd have that documented to ask for money. Is that kind of the flow of
Yeah,
that?
very often on storms of this magnitude, federal funds would be available. And with that, you've got to make sure that you have the before and after shots and what kind of things that might need to be done to correct the situation. So from that standpoint, I think we're just monitoring and keeping a watchful eye on the property, which we think is quite valuable.
Very true. So we've got a bunch of people. They're commenting. Someone just said in Connecticut, they're expecting it to hit tomorrow, I think, tomorrow morning. So we've got some engagement here, so that's good.
Well, I certainly want to thank everybody for their concern, not only for this park, but for other areas that are affecting, whether it's naval parks, communities, towns, villages, cities. Everybody has a concern for people's general well-being, first of all, for people's sake, your families, and so forth. And as valuable as we think this property is, certainly human life is more important. It was interesting when one of my monitoring walks, I ran into a couple of people out there and we kind of shouted at each other. They looked like abominable snowmen. I said, "What the heck are you guys doing out here?" And they said, "Well, we're storm chasers. We came down from Bradford, Ontario." I said,
"Wow,
Godspeed."
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, what are you doing out here?" I said, "Well, these ships are my concern." So kind of shared a few stories and promised to share photos and videos as these things progress. So if you're a storm chaser, I probably would not advise you to come down here to document things. Take it from the two crazies that are out there now and myself and this group that is in the incident command center that we can post for you, and you can stay warm and toasty next to the fireplace, and we'll keep you up to date. So with that, I'm going to let Shane continue on the good work that he's doing to bring this information out to the public. And thanks for your concern.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Yeah, thanks, Vegan. Need someone to knit the ship sweaters. Yeah, that would be nice. Are you going to take that on for us? I don't know. We'll see. Thanks, Andrew. You're Buffalonians, and we'll get through this together like always. Absolutely. We can use the old Jimmy Griffin phrase, right? But yeah, it's of course it being holiday season or the Christmas weekend, that does put a damper on things a little bit. We had talked about if this wasn't Christmas season, again, maybe we wouldn't be able to do as much, but to have someone on board all weekend, just to kind of keep monitoring. Again, as of right now, the electricity is obviously still working, but it's cleared up a little bit. The snow you can see a little bit more now. But yeah, we got a lot of cross currents going on in the Buffalo River here. So you got the updates. I'd love if, again, this is something I could do minute by minute, but it just isn't. So I'll update one last time all of the. Oh, I should have checked the wind too. Shoot, what the wind is at currently. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Um, so as of right now, it seems as though the wind is. Where are we? Well, it was pretty windy. Wind, waves, and weather. As of right now, it seems to be somewhere around 35 miles an hour, the wind gusts. They are expecting it to go up to 50 or 60 at some point, even through 10 p.m. tonight. They're saying about 51, 55.
This is Reed Timmer,
Hi.
National Weather Service.
Oh, excellent.
With AccuWeather.
Oh, very cool. Welcome.
Give him a few minutes.
I'm alive? Oh, yeah, sure. We're doing we have special guests left and right here, everybody. We're doing a live YouTube session. All right. And we've got 43 people on right now.
Nice.
So your name again, sir?
Reed Timmer.
Reed Timmer.
What's the name of your YouTube channel? I'll plug it real quick.
Oh, it's the Buffalo Naval Park. That's how people
Guys, check out the Buffalo Naval Park here. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you've iced over.
Yeah, iced over.
So tell us, Reed, who you're with, and
Well, hi, I'm with AccuWeather, and I'm a meteorologist.
wow,
So,
this is fabulous.
yeah, I usually do the tornadoes, hurricanes, big lake
Okay.
effect emergencies, and I was here for the 2014 one, the one in November,
Yeah.
and I was out covering the storm surge right on the tip there, and got
Wow.
caked in ice.
Yeah, okay.
I guess it's the surge should be maybe at least 4 feet above flood stage. I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Highway 5's closed.
Yeah. Are you from Buffalo, or are you coming in from?
I'm
another-
actually from Grand Rapids, Michigan originally, but went to school in Oklahoma for a long time and specialized in the tornadoes, hurricanes.
Yeah, sure, that would be.
Lake effect too. Some of my first storm chases were lake effect events.
Oh, interesting. Cool. So, yeah, how are you gauging the storm as of right now? It actually, you're thinking, I've been giving them the updates
Mhm.
on the water level above sea level.
Yeah.
And it seems as though it's it seems as though it's risen about 7 to 8 feet.
Yeah, I saw a gauge too just when I was walking out there. I thought I saw 9 feet just before my phone froze.
Yeah.
The waves,
God.
maybe 24 feet, up to 24 feet modeled in the eastern Lake Erie.
Okay.
But I've never seen a Great Lakes surge this intense, honestly, out there. So, but you could feel kind of the warmth of the water relative to the Arctic air, which is crazy. It's like that 40-degree water hitting.
Yeah.
It almost feels like bath water.
Oh, interesting.
The
Like
AccuWeather
with the
suit.
spray.
Yeah, but you could feel how dangerous it is because you get covered in the water and you get in the Arctic air and
And then it,
feels like you got to get to shelter. But I got a ton of layers and everything.
yeah, but yeah, you could see your phone is just encased in
Yeah.
ice here.
Yeah,
Wow.
Okay,
But
so
you are
nice.
recording, and
Yeah, well, I
are you
think
doing
so.
your own live thing here?
Yeah, I just run it. Restream
okay, cool.
YouTube and Facebook. So I plugged you guys. You could say what your page is again.
Yeah, okay. So this is the Buffalo Naval Park at YouTube. Someone can search the Buffalo Naval Park channel. We now have 50 people watching. Reed is everywhere. Thank you, Reed. All right. So some guy named Russell said, so you're well known. That's right.
Just stumbled
We
on.
have vegan conservative. She's in Arizona.
Nice.
Right? So
Hi there.
she says last watched at super low water level. So we've been doing videos. The water's been low,
Yeah.
and then we get an event like this and how that affects our ships and just the water pressure changes. Because of a seiche and things like that.
Yeah, and I hear you're trying to make sure that stays afloat until you can get it to dry dock in the warm season. So
Absolutely true. So she's as buttoned up as we can get her right now, and so we feel good about that. But again, it's just as Paul, our president, had mentioned. You just got to hunker down and just see the damage after it's done.
Yep.
So
have you ever seen a siege like this?
We had an event last year, and I did a video on our YouTube channel in December of last year where it was cresting over the sidewalk here.
Yeah.
but just the splashes.
Yeah.
They were mentioning, and you had even mentioned that we might get 2 to 3 feet above that.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what that means? Like
Yeah.
above the
Yeah. It could be.
sidewalk?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Probably a couple feet higher when the stronger winds arrive and those big waves.
And that's coming tonight, right?
Yeah. As we go through the day, the cyclone's going to keep intensifying up in Ontario. It's going to bottom through the 960s, and the winds are just going to continue to accelerate. So
bottom through the 960s. I
Yeah.
wish I knew what that meant. Can you tell what that means?
Yeah, so the lower the pressure, the stronger the winds around it. And this is a bomb cyclone, which means it intensifies at a rate of greater than 24 millibars in a 24-hour period.
Okay.
And it's just going to continue to spin. It's a cold core system over Ontario, and the strongest winds are a little bit removed from the center. So the west-southwesterly winds, the Arctic air along the southern edge of that low, is just going to be ripping over the main axis of Lake Erie, and about as dangerous of a Great Lake storm as it can get. And some are saying it could be the worst blizzard in Buffalo history when it's all said and done.
Well, that has a lot of
77.
competition, so we will see, right?
Yeah.
The blizzard of 77,
Yeah.
the blizzard of 85, the Snowvember one we had, I think, in 2000 or 2000. Yeah, about 2000,
October.
I think. Yeah, the October
Yeah.
storm.
Yeah.
Can you, because when you do research on seiches or
Mhm.
Lake Erie seems to be well known around the world as like the one spot that seiches are, at least that's what from I read, like that.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the reasons too why I'm here at Caked and Ice. I wanted to get out there and kind of feel the seiche,
Yeah.
feel it in my face, the kind of the warmer water, but it is dangerous out there, of course, because of the flooding on Highway 5 down there. But the shape of the tip of the lake, how it funnels as it comes in, I mean, all those 20 to 24-foot waves getting funneled right down the tip of the lake. The wind's 70 miles an hour, sustained even greater than that, just ripping off the tip. I mean, all of that comes together with the brutal wind chills, and it's just as dangerous as it can get, kind of in this narrow slot right off the tip of Lake Erie.
Wow. Yeah, and then we've got 3 World War II vessels sitting right here.
And they're
too,
beautiful.
So.
I mean, I was out watching the bubblers out there.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
so
nice.
Beautiful vessels.
Ice protection there a little bit.
What a noble mission to get it through this storm, so you can dry dock them in the season.
Thanks so much, Reed. It was awesome to have you on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thanks for stopping in. You just kind of walked up the stairs right here.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, no, you're welcome.
Thanks for
stay
bearing in mind too.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, guys, hop over Buffalo Naval
Park
Naval
on
Park.
our YouTube channel.
On the YouTube channel, Buffalo Naval Park, World War II vessels here during the peak of the storm.
Yeah, and so thank you so much.
Thanks for letting me thaw out too.
Yeah,
kind of a life-threatening situation out there.
Yeah, don't.
I saw the Buffalo Bills sign. It was like the beacon of light to the snow.
Follow it home, right?
Yeah.
Follow it home. Thanks, Reed. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your expertise.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I'll copy the link too when you get back to that area.
A guy named Dan says, Reed, glad you're here covering it. Please continue and love your work. He loves your work. Storm chasers are awesome. Yeah. I know it's nothing. Oh, Mike, what do you? Okay, so I know it's nothing to you, but you used to hit a low of 15 last night. No, that is something because the driving can be a little treacherous for Southern drivers. Steve, hello. Thank you. All right. Hope you're safe as well in Kansas, and thanks for checking in. So let me see if there's any updates. We got 78 people on right now. We just had Reed from AccuWeather. Some of you have seemed to know him. I know Dan Cantori from the Weather Channel, but Reed I was not familiar with. He's still right there, getting a cup of coffee. So it seems as though as of right now, the wind is slated as of tonight to get to. This is saying 51, but I've also heard up to 70, and Reed had just said that up to 70. The water levels, again, we're at 577.81 feet. Again, it started today at 571. So it seems though, again, it's coming down a little bit, but it's still about 6.5 feet. even just looking at the waves out there, it's they seem to be, there's some conflict going on out there. Reed had mentioned about the warmer water then hitting the Arctic air. And so, yeah, it's twirling in your direction. It would be twirling like this, and Lake Erie's here. So it's catching all of that wind coming up from Canada, blowing across, and as he said, funneling all of that water into the Niagara River, and then also coming up into the Buffalo River as well. But yeah, we're seeing some conflict here. Like, you're seeing waves crashing into each other and things like that. I'm not a weather guy. I'm glad we did have Reed here. Don't want to, we've buttoned the ships up as much as we can. And thanks, Lisa. Yeah. Everyone is good right now. As of right now, it's just me and the president, Paul, here, and now Reed. So Bill Abbott was here earlier, but he left. Again, we have that camera rolling all weekend long, and then we're gonna take all that video and then add it into a video that we'll publish onto our YouTube channel. And so I guess that's it for now, everyone. Thanks, Lisa. Hello to you and my brother from another mother. And stay safe as well. You too, Steve. Everyone be safe. Maybe we'll check back. I mean, that's the update for now. Maybe I'll do another live session tomorrow if possible. Boy, look at that. It's clearing up a little bit as of right now. But as he said, it's a cyclone over land. And all right, guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And we'll be giving updates as we can. You're welcome, everyone, for the updates. We'll see you soon.